This is the Oclean X Pro Elite, and it's the quietest electric toothbrush that we have ever used here at Electricteeth. In this video, I'll give you our overall verdict along with what we consider to be the main pros and cons. Hey, it's John from Electricteeth here. We assist you in selecting the right dental care products and understanding common dental health care topics. So I'm going to jump straight in and give you our overall verdict on what we think about this super quiet electric toothbrush. Now at the time of recording, I've tested in excess of 150 different electric toothbrushes, and this is without doubt the quietest that I've ever used by quite some margin. So what's our overall thoughts? The Oclean X Pro Elite is an impressive brush for the price. It's the quietest electric toothbrush that I've ever used by quite some margin. It looks great and feels good in the hand. The touchscreen display is intuitive and dramatically improved compared to previous iterations. Importantly, it cleans the teeth well, the intensity isn't quite as strong as Oral-B and Sonicare. Whilst the smart connectivity features work, there is room for improvement. A good battery life, fast charging and magnetic holder add to the overall package. This is a brush I can recommend. Now before I give you our main pros and cons, I want you to know that as not or if not more important than the toothbrush itself is your brushing technique, how often you brush, how long you brush for, and your supporting oral care routine. You can have the best electric toothbrush in the world, but if you're not brushing with the correct technique and you're not using it for at least 2 minutes twice a day, then you're simply not going to get the benefits. So then on to the main pros and cons of the Oclean X Pro Elite. So the first pro has to be the stylish brush handle with built-in colour touchscreen display. I really like the look of the Elite here. It's got this ultimate grey or limestone grey colour to it. It's not a solid grey colour, it's got sort of like a white and grey mottled effect to it. I think it's a really smart looking toothbrush. The handle is very minimalistic in its overall look and feel. It is smooth to the touch, but it's not a glossy smooth. There's a little bit of texture to the sort of matte coating that this handle has. And the main thing that shouts out on this handle is the colour touchscreen display on the front here. Now we first saw a colour touchscreen on a previous iteration of this brush, the Oclean X Pro. Unfortunately, the screen on that was terrible really in its interaction, and the Elite has been significantly upgraded and the touchscreen works really well. You do also have the likes of the Oral-B IO that has a colour display built in, but it's not a touchscreen like the Elite is here. So it's a nice touch. You don't need touchscreen technology built in, but it's certainly nice to have it, and you can change things like the cleaning mode, the brushing intensity and the brushing time right from the brush handle itself. Now, one of the key selling points of this toothbrush is how quiet it is, and I can certainly say that this is the quietest electric toothbrush that I've ever tested. It's actually been awarded the Quiet Mark certification for just how quiet it is, and they rated this at 45 decibels. Now, the exact reading is going to depend on the cleaning mode and the intensity that you used. I can say that it did perform at around 45 decibels. At its highest point, it was slightly over in my testing at around 48 decibels, but I don't have state-of-the-art technology for reading it. I've just got a basic decibel meter, but it was certainly quieter and is at least 10 to 15 decibels quieter than any other electric toothbrush that I've used. And generally speaking, on average, it's going to be about 20 decibels quieter, particularly if you compare this to the likes of Oral-B electric toothbrushes. Another pro has to be the easy to use magnetic wall holder. I think this is an underrated accessory. It's got an adhesive pad on the back that sticks it to a flat surface, but basically there's a magnet built into the wall holder and the toothbrush itself, which allows the toothbrush to hang vertically on a flat surface, and it's just a really nice way to mount the toothbrush, take it off of a countertop, free up space, and take it away from maybe splashes and debris that may be around your bathroom. So the next pro has to be the built-in timer and pacer. This is an essential for any good electric toothbrush. So you have the 2-minute timer, which automatically turns the toothbrush off after 2 minutes, and you have the 30-second pacer. Follow this and you should end up with a good even clean of your teeth and gums, and you'll end up brushing for the recommended 2 minutes. Another pro is the built-in pressure sensor with the Elite. Now this is not a visible pressure sensor, so when activated you don't actually get any lights on the brush handle or anything like that. But what actually happens is if you do apply too much pressure when brushing, you will hear the sound of the brush change, although it's quite quiet. But most importantly, the bristles will stop moving. Applying lots of pressure when brushing does not equal a better clean. In fact, you can be doing more damage to the teeth and gums. So this is a useful feature, particularly for first-time electric toothbrush users. It works well on the X Pro Elite. Another pro has to be the brushing feedback that you get on the display at the end of the cleaning session. So built into the toothbrush is a gyroscope. It's a 6-axis gyroscope. And what this essentially does is, as you're brushing your teeth, it's tracking the position of the toothbrush. And it's looking to see how well you clean the outer and inner surfaces of your teeth. Unfortunately, it doesn't track your brushing of the biting surfaces, but come the end of the 2-minute cleaning session, it gives you a bit of a score on screen as to how well you've brushed. Now, this score is out of 100, and you also get a graphic of the teeth. Now, the teeth that are white in colour means you've brushed them well. If they're black in colour with a blue outline, it means you haven't brushed them so well. Now, it's not 100% accurate, but I think it's a nice feature to have. It's not quite as advanced as the real-time tracking that you get on some premium electric toothbrushes, but given the overall price of this toothbrush, I think it's a nice feature and only adds to the overall experience, and you can get a good idea of how well you're brushing. And for those who are committed and look at it, I think it's a good way to actually try and improve your oral care routine and try and aim for that better or higher score each time. Another positive is the long battery life. You get around about 1 month's usage from the battery on a full charge. Oclean claim 35 days, and that's exactly what I got when using the standard clean mode set to the highest intensity. If you change to one of the more sensitive modes with a lower intensity, then you may eke out a few more days. But overall, the battery life is very good, and when you need to come and charge the toothbrush, it charges via USB on its charging stand, and it takes just 3.5 hours to charge. So the last pro has to be the price of this electric toothbrush. It's certainly not the cheapest brush that I've ever used, but considering what you get, it's pretty cost effective. Now, the exact price will depend on where you are in the world and what time you are actually purchasing the brush and what offers are available at the time, but the recommended retail price is £74 or $99. Generally speaking, you're going to get at least 20% off, which brings the price down to around about £59 or $80. Often Oclean themselves offer bundles, so there are further savings to be had, and often there are promotional codes as well that bring the price down a little bit more. But considering some of the smart technology and how quiet this toothbrush is, I think that is a price worth paying. So moving on to the cons then, and the first con has to be the Bluetooth connectivity. So this is a smart toothbrush and it does pair with your smartphone, be that Android or iOS, via the free Oclean application that is available. Whilst not all smart toothbrushes connect in real time to the application, this is one of those brushes that doesn't. All of the data syncs post-brushing. Now, the data in there is pretty comprehensive, so I have to hand it to Oclean in terms of how much data you have about your brushing times and your techniques and routines, and there is the opportunity to learn from the application. But the app in itself is a little bit clunky. I think it could be designed better. And ultimately, you don't need a smart toothbrush with Bluetooth connectivity to clean your teeth well. If you just invest in the correct brushing technique, brushing for the right amount of time, that is going to put you most of the way there to achieving a good standard of oral hygiene. Yes, the app could potentially help, but it's going to probably be adding to the cost a little bit. And you've still got to go into the app and learn about the things that you're doing well and not so well. And also, some of the other things in the app are a bit clunky. You can change things like the cleaning modes, you can customize them to your heart's content, but there are silly things like you can give the cleaning mode a name, but when you push it to the brush handle, it just uses one of the modes on the brush handle already, so you don't actually know that you've set up your custom mode very easily, so it's a little bit confusing in that regard. A small complaint I have, and perhaps this is overly critical, is the fact that the magnetic wall holder offers no opportunity to charge the toothbrush. I think it would be really neat if you could actually charge the toothbrush whilst it was mounted to the wall holder. Let's say you could connect up a USB cable to it and pins on the wall holder and the toothbrush itself connected to actually charge a toothbrush. Alas, you can't. You have to charge the toothbrush in the separate provided charging stand. It doesn't need charging all that often, about once a month, and it's quick to charge when it does require replenishment, but it would be a nice little extra to that wall holder. Another possible negative is the lack of travel case being included in the box. You do get a basic plastic cap that goes across the bristles of the brush head, but often with these Far Eastern brands you get quite a lot of value for money in the box, and that can often include a travel case to protect it when you're on the move with the toothbrush. You don't get one included, you can purchase them separately and they're not too expensive. It would just be a nice added extra in the box if it was there when you bought the brush. And the last con, and it's certainly not the most significant, is availability. Oclean are not a widely stocked brand. You're not going to find this in every pharmacy or dentist office. You're generally going to have to go online to buy this, either direct from Oclean or one of the online marketplaces. It would just be nice if it was slightly easier to source the brush and the replacement brush heads rather than having to shop via select online outlets. So there we have it, that's our overall thoughts and opinions on the Oclean X Pro Elite. There's a full written review that accompanies this video linked in the description below. If you found this video useful, be sure to give it a thumbs up. For more videos like this, click subscribe and click here for more tips and tricks on how to improve your oral health.